Hello everybody, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am. Today I'm joined by Jamie from Leicester Fan TV. Jamie, how are we doing?
I'm good, Corey. How are you? Are you well? Are you good?
I'm struggling after last night. I've got to be honest, 4-1 against Everton was a bit disappointing. I mean, you know, completely different tales for both of us, I guess. You had a brilliant result against Man City on Sunday.
Yeah, I was quite surprised last night, actually. I thought you might get something out of that after, because you won, was it 4-0 you won against Wolves, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4-0, mate.
I was quite surprised last night's result. Did you make a lot of changes? I didn't actually watch the game. Did you make quite a few changes for it?
Yeah, like this is the thing with Moyes. He's played two different teams. So he's had one in the Cup and one in the Premier League. And I think we brought a few starters in from Sunday. I think we had Creswell, Rice come in at centre-back. But other than that, it was a real completely different side. No Antonio, no Bowen. And we just struggled, mate. Completely different formation as well. Like particularly our past two games when we played against Arsenal and Wolves, we've had that 3-4-3. It's done perfect for us defensively. And Everton had a good go at us last night because they could just get at us. Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin's in unbelievable form as well. So
just a bit.
Yeah, well, England called up today as well. Well deserved.
He did, didn't it? Well, he's got 2 hat-tricks on the bounce, hasn't he, for Everton? So pretty damn good. But we were all quite happy, though, when we got knocked out by Arsenal. I know you never like losing, but when we got knocked out by Arsenal in the Cup, a lot of fans were reasonably happy because we've got Europe, the FA Cup and the Premier League to go for now. So that was quite nice. We made 11 changes for the Arsenal game. And then we actually kept Daniel Amartey in the side from the Arsenal game, which was quite surprised when he came into the Man City game. And everyone was going, oh, what's Amartey doing? Why has he brought him in? But he got his plans right and it came out. And according to Rodri and Pep Guardiola, we were lucky to win. According to him, when you score 5 goals at I was going to say Main Road then, that's showing me age then, at the Etihad. When you score 5, that's lucky, very lucky indeed. But we were outstanding. Literally, we did our show straight after. And Phil came to me and he says, what do you think? And I just went, wow, just wow. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say it. And it's not like me to be speechless, but I just didn't know what to say about it. I was overjoyed about it, of course. But yeah, so we played reasonably well. Got our tactics right. And looking forward to the game against West Ham on Sunday.
Yeah, honestly, it was unbelievable from you lot. I mean, I haven't seen too much of it from Leicester, but obviously you play with a low block. You had 5, or Match of the Day showed you had 5 at the back. Obviously, Castagne and Justin will push on. That's where you get your width and your pacing behind. But to be fair, I wasn't shocked in a way because when Wolves come up against City, particularly in that second half with Wolves and City, they got in behind a few times with a bit of pace. And like when Mendy pushes a little bit too far up on Walker, they expose themselves. But I just think when you've got Vardy on that half turn and Harvey Barnes running at you, you're creating those spaces and it was a top performance, mate.
Well, the first 20 minutes, Vardy was playing more like a holding midfielder. Not a holding midfielder, just a central midfielder. And he was trying to block out Rodri. And that's why it looked so negative the first 20, 25 minutes. And then we got a couple of chances and you could see how they were trying to play the style. They were trying to catch him on the break. But the same way as well when we won the league in 15-16 on the counter-attack. But in the second half, Man City didn't know what to do in the second half. So Rodgers, and we found out afterwards, it was Rodgers' plan to start. So it literally looked like the first 20 minutes we'd parked the bus and literally everyone was behind the ball from 35, 40 yards out and they couldn't break us down. When they scored after 5 minutes, I just thought, oh no. And it had to be Mahrez, didn't it? You knew Mahrez was going to score sometime. But yeah, and then we just came back into it. And in the second half, we were just outstanding. But the thing is with Leicester, which I don't know whether you might not know this, our record last year, I think we scored 65 goals and we scored 44 of them in the second half. So we're patience and we build up, break them down. And then, I mean, we've scored 10 in the second half already in the first 3 games this year. So I thought it was pretty good. Winning the first 3, top of the league. It's the first time we've ever won 3 games on the bounce, the first 3 games on the bounce in the top flight ever. And that's 140 years, just nearly 140 years. So we're breaking records all the time.
Yeah, no, honestly, mate, like it's really impressive to see from Leicester, like particularly when you get into that final third. You know, it's easy to look at you and say, well, they've got wing backs, so they might just sit back with the defence, but actually they push so high and they create spaces. And Harvey Barnes comes central, and all of a sudden you've got 4 or 5 players in the box. And as a West Ham fan, I'm slightly concerned because the late runners, if you've got Tielemans now, Maddison's coming back as well. You've got players that can hurt teams, so it's going to be a tough one for us on Sunday.
So there's another one, Tielemans. When he came on loan a season and a half ago, he was like looking for a job and he was really good. And then we signed him beginning of last summer and he wasn't as good. He really was. I don't know why. And then this year, I don't know whether it's because we've got Pratt and Castagne as well, two of his Belgium teammates. So he's got three. So whether he's settled down a bit more, I don't know. But another one, Pratt. Pratt's been outstanding these 3 games. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of a twisted knee, so we're not sure whether he'll be available on Sunday. Sorry, the Sunday games doing my head in. They're all on Sundays now for us. We played every Sunday so far. There's no 3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs anymore, is there? No. So we've got Ricardo and Wilf out. Wilf's got a knee injury. I think they said about 12 weeks now. Ndidi, sorry, Wilf Ndidi. But Mendy stepped into his shoes quite comfortably, dropping into central midfield as a defensive midfielder. And also, like I said, Amartey seems to have stepped in his shoes. I don't think he's the actual answer to our problems at centre-half, but I think in a crisis or 1 or 2 matches, he's quite a decent cover because he actually broke his ankle. We played you, didn't we, when we had the helicopter crash on the 28th of October, 2 years ago. It was 1-1, and he broke his ankle, and that was his first Premiership game since then. So he hasn't played for nearly 2 years.
So is he more? Is he more of a centre? Is he more of a defensive midfielder?
Yes, he's very. A lot of our team at the minute, we've got utility players like Mark Albrighton. He can play left, right wing. He can play a bit in the central mid, but not much. Amartey, fullback, centre half, central defender midfielder. Wilf, centre half, centre midfielder. Pratt, he can play a few positions as well in the midfield. So yeah, we're quite easy on there, but we've got too many utility players, which I think we haven't got. Which is, I'm not sure which is a good thing or a bad thing. Because you don't get a settled team. But the problem we're going to have is when Pereira comes back. What we're going to do? Yeah. James Justin, he can play left back, right back as well, centre half. So I don't know what's going to happen when Pereira comes in, but that'll be a problem for Brendan Rodgers in about 3 or 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's the thing that's impressed me the most with Leicester, that they've had a few injuries. They obviously lost Chilwell as well. And he sort of had players to plug in. I think Ndidi plugged in a little bit at centre-back, put Mendy in there, James Justin on the left. And really, you'd be looking at it and saying, well, these are obvious weaknesses that other teams can exploit. But I just think they've just got it bang on. And Castagne's been an unreal signing for you, mate. I think he come from out Atlanta. Obviously, he gets on, bombs on. But he's going to get a few assists this season, surely. Oh, yeah. Well, he's got 2 already. Well, 2.5, because 1 took a slight deflection, so they don't count that one. But you're saying about defensively getting it right. Last year, we sold Maguire for 80 million. We already had Soyuncu in from the year before, 18 million. And we put Soyuncu in. He played 42 games last year, and we got defensively better after we sold our so-called best player. This year, we've sold Chilwell for 50 million, bought Castagne for 25 million, and we've got better again. So we've sold £130 million worth of talent and got defensively better. Now I've said that, you're probably going to rip us to shreds on Sunday with all them 2 players. Building up that much. Yeah, do you know what I will say? You know, I look with envy at Leicester sometimes. Obviously, you did win the title, but I think it's been a long progression with your owners where it's been clever recruitment, clever scouting. I think you've obviously had that and you've developed that even with the likes of Vardy coming through when he did. But now you've added, obviously, Brendan Rodgers, that style of play. You're progressing really nicely. And like you said, you sold Chilwell and Maguire, got a load of money in, and arguably you haven't seen the drop-off in the quality, which is probably the most impressive thing. Correct. I think the problem with the restart, when the restart, we thought, right, we're going Champions League. Hold on a minute, we're going Champions League. We ended up in 5th. But they said at the beginning of the season, if we get into Europe, that's fine. So that means top 6, top 7. We finished 5th. I think the disappointment was because we were 4th for so long. But when the restart happened, again, because there was no crowds, that's what our problem was. At Leicester, you like having the home advantage of the crowd, and Leicester's crowd does get behind them. And that's been ideal. But this year, something's changed, and we've gone and played. When the figures came out, West Brom away, Burnley at home, Man City away. You'd have thought Burnley a win, yeah, odds on banker maybe. Struggle against the new boys coming up, and then Man City, just give it a go, hope for the best. But to get 9 out of 9 from the first 3 points, it's a free hit, really, isn't it, the Man City game? Top 6 club against Man City and at Etihad, it's a free hit, and we did it. We went out there, did the best we could, and we came out with 3 points. Yeah, mate, and I mean, let's talk about Jamie Vardy for starters. This guy, even though he's getting older, seems to be as good as he has been for a number of years now. I think The thing with Vardy that I always see as a fan is sometimes he won't score for 3 or 4, maybe 5 games. He gets one goal, and it's one. The fact he's done it this early, even, albeit through penalties and things like that, he had a lovely finish against West Brom as well. He's promising.
No, the finish against Man City, you mean? The back heel against Man City. Yeah, that's West Brom's the 2 penalties. But see, that's what I don't put Jamie Vardy in my fancy football because he doesn't score goals regular enough. And I ummed and ahed about putting him in this year. And, of course, I haven't put him in. I'd have got absolutely shed load of points if I'd had him in from the beginning because he doesn't score consistently. He scores in groups and then he has, like you say, a few games off. But what he's done, he didn't make his Premiership debut till 2014. I think he was 24, 25. I can't remember the actual proper age. But, yeah, and he scored 108 goals in 240 games. He's 24th on the all-time goal-scoring list in the Premiership, and he's 33. And he looks fit as a fiddle. He looks fit as a butcher's dog. He really does. Yeah,
and I think as well, like, I was hearing Brendan Rodgers talking about him when he come in. And before, Vardy was the guy that was just going to chase defences constantly. Now, in his system, he's been relinquished a little bit of that. He just stays far forward and just latches onto things. And I think that's going to maintain him for a couple of seasons.
Under Puel and the managers before, he's been asked to come back a bit and try and win the ball and go it forward. But now, under Rodgers, he's told to hold the high line and make the runs. Before, he was making God knows how many runs and probably being hit twice. Now he's making 10 runs and he's being hit 8 times because he's higher up the field and it's making it easier for him.
Yeah, and your whole team's just moving forward. It's weird to see now, like Leicester, you just think counter-attack inside, Mahrez, Kante, Vardy. Now you attack with 4 or 5 and it's like once you can pin a team back in their final third, which is what I'm concerned about, you inevitably get a chance or ricochet or something.
Yeah. Also, it's like you're saying about the team and that. The transfer window, up until a couple of weeks ago, we were having, it was probably our worst transfer window ever. We hadn't signed anybody up until we signed Castagne. And then we got Under, which is Soyuncu's best mate. So we've got Turkish army in there at the minute. And then we've got Fofana that's not, he's had his medical, but he's not been officially signed yet. So it's turned out from 2 weeks ago being one of the worst transfer windows to probably being one of the better ones we've had, because we've had some dodgy ones over the last couple of years since we won the league. Yeah,
no, I can just think of Slimani off the top of my head. He's the one. Yeah, don't talk about it. Other than that,
he could be going to. There's 2 places. He could be going to West Brom or Lyon in France.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So you finally get rid of him.
Trying to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a West Ham fan, looking at it, I mean, I think we're going to play 3-4-3. I do fancy us from set pieces. A number of your goals you've conceded this season are from set pieces in the air. I think I saw Chris Wood beat James Justin. And particularly with the free kicks, it's something between you can get between Soyuncu and the defender.
The problem is with our free kicks and corners is we do zonal defending. I absolutely detest zonal defending.
I saw that.
Because you have your big man at the front, your small man at the front, your full back at the front, your full back at the back, and you've got the 3 defenders, the big men there, and they're making the runs. And then you've got one of the goals, Maddison got pushed off for it. Who scored? Aki scored against Man City. Yeah. Maddison just got pushed off because you're not picking up the man. The big men ought to pick up the big men, not let them run on. Because if you run on, you've got the power to jump up and leap. If you're standing in zonal defending, you're not going to be able to jump that high, are you? So I do not like zonal defending at all. I hate it. Pick up the man. Pick up your men.
Mate, West Ham are going to be brilliant from that. I think we brought Arthur Mazuaku into the side. Fredericks, we pushed him up as well. And the best thing I've seen is them beginning to move a little bit more progressively, getting the ball in the box, starting to find that front 3. And obviously, we've got quite a mobile front 3. Jared Bowen as well has got a bit of pace from getting behind. Antonio did brilliantly against Wolves. He can turn defenders. You know, he's decent in the box now when he plays more around that penalty area rather than come in short to get it. I think we have got opportunities. My concern is we've got to beat that Leicester press. We've got to beat those wing-backs to get in behind, and then we'll create. But I think we'll create a lot less against Leicester because of that threat than we will against Wolves.
Because Antonio's always been a threat against us when he was at Sheff Wednesday as well. He's a big old unit, and he's just a threat. When he's playing, hopefully his name's not on the team sheet. That's what I mean, what about injuries for you? Are you struggling with injuries this week, or have you got a full squad? Or
well, interesting. We've got Fredericks. Fredericks is injured, so he pulled up in the Wolves game. Come off. I think it was just after half-time. We're bringing in someone called, I believe it's Kufal from Slavia Prague. So Thomas Souček's mate's coming in. I don't know anything about him. I've tried to do my homework, but I just can't find anything on him. But he's a right wing-back. So I imagine, I don't think he's going to play against you, but going forward, he's going to slot into that system. But I don't think we've got too many injuries, to be fair. I think we've rested a lot against Everton. Bowen's going to be fit, Antonio. And that's the only issue with West Ham, because he doesn't make any substitutes, rarely until maybe 80th minute. And we know Antonio and Bowen's work rate's so high that if you play him for more than, 2 games in a week, they're absolutely shattered. So it is a good thing for us, because I just think if they were knackered, you can sometimes see it in the play with Antonio. If he's played multiple games, he slows down, he's not running the channel, he's not getting in behind. And that's his game, mate. He loses that, it's very difficult for him to affect things.
I mean, to be honest, we've got Ricardo Pereira out, Ndidi out. That's it, really. But there's a 50-50 on Evans, Vardy and Pratt. We're not sure about them at all yet. So you could have Evans, Vardy and Pratt out from the Man City game. So that'd be a stroke of luck for you. But Maddison will come in for Pratt, which I think is a decent, even though he plays different, I think it's a decent substitution for him to come in. Amartey might keep his, but it depends what Rodgers wants to play, whether he wants to play 4 or whether he wants to play 5 at the back. It just depends how he wants to play against West Ham. He seems to change it. That's what a lot of our fans don't get, why he keeps changing it tactically, why we change our team for the team that we're playing. Like against Man City, everyone says, why have we changed the way we've played? It's worked. So we've just got to go with it. And in Brendan, we trust.
I'll bet. No, do you know what? That's the frustration with us, though, because we saw 2 different sides in the Cup and in the Premier League. And even before we went to the 3-4-3, we were playing really 4-3-3. Fornals, who's not a natural left winger on the left. Square pegs, round hole situation. Fredericks isn't even really a natural right back. Creswell's lost loads of pace. It was just frustrating for us to see, because it's like you play your players in the best system. And obviously Rodgers has got that mentality. I don't know whether it's Moyes' ploy. I think West Ham are after another centre-back. But we are going to have to keep playing that 3-4-3, because we do have holes defensively. But when we can just sit back and hit teams on the counter, we can start creating a bit more. The only man I'd like to see in actually on Sunday is Sebastian Haller. He scored a great header against Wolves. He's so good in the air. He did all right last night with limited chances. I'd love to see Antonio, Bowen either side with Haller, because I think just from them free kicks with Souček as well, like Ogbonna, we've got a chance to potentially get a goal. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Even though we've got Evans and Soyuncu there, maybe Amartey, depending on how we play it. Set pieces is our vulnerability. We just turn off. It just seems strange. Every time we have a corner or a set piece, it's a free kick, they swing it into, you're thinking, oh God, here we go again. But that's the Leicester way, I'm afraid. At the minute, it's we'll score more than you will. So hopefully it'll be a decent game. So you got a prediction for this? You got a prediction for the score then, Corey? What do you think?
Oh, see, the thing is, when I do these things, I have like my West Ham hat on and I've got my neutral hat on, so I've got to think about it. I mean, I would fancy us to nick it maybe if we sit very deep. I think we'll have Souček, Rice just sitting in front of that back 3. We can frustrate you a little bit, and if we take our chances with the set pieces, we could nick a goal or maybe get a 2-1. I can see it being the reverse. I can see Leicester maybe. I reckon they'll score around 2. It could be 2-1 Leicester. I don't want to say 3-1, but it may happen just because your goal ability, mate.
The other week, we did exactly the same with a Burnley Turfcast podcast. I had him on the Sunday morning before the show, and he says, oh, you'll beat us 3-1. That was a Burnley fan saying, we're going to lose 3-1 to you. And they lost 4-2. So it was nearly there, but at least he didn't come out with that. He came straight out, I'm going to lose 3-1. Simple as.
I can't do it, mate. I can't do it. I've got to have a bit of optimism like that internal, but I know it's a tough test. I mean, I want to ask you something. Going into this season, where do you think you can finish? Because, I mean, you've started really well. It's the same conversation that I've had with Everton fans, where it's like, you started well, where are you going to go?
We were hoping mid-table again, pushing for Europe because of the signings. Because we didn't get no signings, and the squad looked really, the strength in depth looked a nightmare. So hopefully, it's tough. With the start we've had, it's like put everyone's ideas out there and they've like totally bamboozled us. Hopefully, we're going to be in Europe again next year. That's all I can. So anywhere in the top 6 or 7, I would say that'd be a decent season. Win the Europa League, win the FA Cup, and finish 6th or 7th. I'm only joking. Europa League, I wouldn't mind a bit of a a European tour there. I know we can't go, but it'd be nice to get through with the qualifying rounds because the draw's tomorrow for us, so that'd be nice. See who we get. But yeah,
do you think
a European place again?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you should be aiming at that, definitely challenging. You know, I think Tottenham and Arsenal for me are the ones that are going to finish 5th and 6th. But I don't think there's any reason why you and Everton, particularly on the form you're on, you can't challenge them. I mean, this season, obviously, because you have got the Europa League and we've spoken about the squad depth, do you think that's going to affect you going forward where a couple of injuries, you've got to play? Do you think Rodgers will...
If we get a couple of injuries, 2 or 3 injuries, then it's going to be paper thin. So we have trying to wrap them all in cotton wool. I mean, I bet Vardy wouldn't have done anything this week. He got a bit of a hip injury. It's an ongoing thing. So I bet Vardy hasn't done a lot at all this week. But at his age, I think he knows how to look after himself. So hopefully, but yeah, like you say, strength in depth. But we've made a couple of decent signings. Made a bit of money available with Salami probably going. Adrian Silva's gone today, I think, to Sampdoria. So we've got some wages in there. They're on about Damari Gray going as well because he's not really done a lot since. So the money's coming in. The money's going out. So we're going to free up the wages. So hopefully we'll be able to, even if it's a couple of loans. I'm not sure how the loans work. It's 2 or 3, isn't it? I can't remember how it is in the Premier League. You're allowed to have. But yeah, I think we need to go for a bit of one more player, and I think we've had a decent transfer window, to be honest.
Shame I can't say the same. We sold Grady Diangana and we've only brought in a right wing back. I mean, it doesn't look like we're going to sign anyone, unfortunately. Maybe a couple of last-minute loans. But listen, mate, all the best for Sunday. I really hope we batter you.
Cheers, pal.
I can't see it happening. But, best of luck for the rest of the season as well.
Oh, I was going for 3-0, by the way, because you didn't ask me. I'm going for 3-0.
I don't want to ask you. I know you're going to go for 3-0.
Right, pal. Thanks a lot, Corey.
Yeah, cheers, Jamie. Right, thank you everyone for watching. And until next time, take care.